Hello everyone, welcome back to EPT. Today's topic is all about building confidence when speaking a new language. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Sophia. If you've ever felt nervous or shy about speaking a new language, don't worry. You're not alone. It's something almost everyone experiences at some point. Today we're going to share some helpful tips and strategies to make the process less intimidating and, hopefully, a lot more fun. So, Jamie, have you ever felt nervous speaking a new language?
Oh, absolutely. I think most of us have been there. I still remember the first time I tried to speak German in front of native speakers. I was so self-conscious and kept second-guessing everything I said. I was afraid they wouldn't understand me, or worse, that they'd laugh at my mistakes. But over time, I realized those fears were holding me back more than anything else. When I started using strategies to feel more comfortable, everything got easier.
That's such a relatable story, Jamie. I think the fear of making mistakes is one of the biggest hurdles for language learners. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect right from the start, but that's just not realistic. One of the most important lessons I've learned is this: mistakes aren't failures, they're part of the learning process.
You're so right, Sophia. I always tell people, embrace your mistakes. They're your best teacher. When you mess up, it sticks in your mind, and you're more likely to remember the correct way next time. Plus, let's be honest, most people aren't going to remember your mistakes. Native speakers are usually just excited that you're trying to communicate in their language.
Exactly. I've noticed that native speakers are usually very supportive. They don't expect you to be perfect. They're just happy you're making the effort. And many times, they'll even help you if you get stuck or use the wrong word. Realizing that takes so much pressure off.
Definitely. And starting simple really helps. When I was learning German, I focused on basic phrases at first. Even just saying, "Hello, how are you?" Or "I'm learning this language" helped me feel more confident. Once I got comfortable with the basics, I started building up to more complex sentences.
That's such a great approach. And I'd add that practicing by yourself is another good way to build confidence. It might feel a bit weird at first, but it really works. For example, you can describe what you're doing out loud, like, "I'm making breakfast," or "I'm going to the store." You can even practice dialogues you might use later. The more you hear yourself speaking, the more natural it starts to feel.
I agree 100%. Speaking out loud, even when you're alone, trains your brain to get used to the sounds and rhythm of the language. And if you're lucky enough to have a friend or family member who's fluent, practicing with them in a relaxed setting can be a game changer.
That's such a good point. And if you don't have anyone around to practice with, finding a language partner online is a great alternative. There are so many apps and websites where you can connect with native speakers or other learners. It's like having a teammate on your language learning journey.
Yes, a language partner makes practicing more fun too. You can set little challenges for each other, like learning 5 new phrases a week or having a full conversation in the language you're learning. It's motivating, and it helps you feel less self-conscious because you're both working towards the same goal.
Absolutely, and speaking of making it fun, let's talk about using media to build confidence. Watching movies or TV shows in the language you're learning is such a great way to get comfortable with how it sounds. And if you use subtitles, it can help you connect the spoken words with their meanings.
I love that tip. When I was learning Italian, I started with Italian movies that had English subtitles. It was like a mini immersion experience. I didn't understand everything at first, but over time, I started picking up common phrases, and my listening skills got so much better.
Music is another great tool. Listening to songs in your target language helps you get used to pronunciation and rhythm. And singing along is a fun way to practice without feeling too serious about it.
Definitely. Music has a way of making language learning feel less intimidating. And the best part is, you can repeat a song as many times as you need without feeling embarrassed.
Another thing that really helps is positive self-talk. It might sound simple, but the way you talk to yourself matters. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," try something like, "I'm improving every day." Shifting your mindset can make a huge difference in how confident you feel.
That's such a great point. Confidence starts in your mind. It's important to remember that language learning is a journey. It takes time and patience. Even native speakers didn't learn their language overnight.
Exactly. And if you ever feel nervous during a conversation, don't be afraid to slow down. Taking a deep breath and pausing can help you gather your thoughts. It's better to speak a little slower than to rush and feel overwhelmed.
That's great advice. And here's another tip. Don't hesitate to ask for help if you get stuck. Most people are more than happy to explain a word or teach you something new. It shows you're eager to learn, and that's always appreciated.
Another strategy I love is focusing on listening during conversations. When you really pay attention to what the other person is saying, it takes some of the pressure off you. Plus, you might pick up a word or phrase you can use later.
That's so true. Listening carefully also shows the other person that you're engaged, which makes the conversation flow more naturally. It's a two-way street, and you don't have to put all the pressure on yourself.
And here's a fun trick. If you don't know the exact word for something, describe it. For example, if you can't remember how to say toothbrush, you could say the thing you use to clean your teeth. People will almost always understand what you mean.
I love that tip. And don't forget to celebrate your small wins along the way. Did you successfully order coffee in your new language? Or have a short conversation without switching to your native language? Those moments are huge milestones, and they deserve to be recognized.
Absolutely. Progress might feel slow sometimes, but every little step counts. The more you speak, the easier it becomes. Confidence isn't something you get overnight. It's something you build over time with practice and patience.
Well said, Sophia. So, to sum up, here are our key takeaways. Start simple, practice daily, focus on clarity over perfection, and most importantly, have fun with it. Learning a language is a journey, and every step you take brings you closer to fluency.
Exactly. Just keep speaking, don't be afraid of mistakes, and remember that every effort you make is progress. Thanks so much for joining us today on EPT, English Podcast Time.
And remember, confidence comes with practice. You've got this. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you tried any of these strategies? Or do you have tips of your own?
We'd love to hear from you. Feel free to suggest topics for future episodes too. We're always looking for fresh ideas and love hearing what you're interested in.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with anyone who might find it helpful.
We'll see you next time with more practical tips and fun discussions. Take care and remember, your story matters.